love me, yeah, they love me. First love yourself. For that, and God we trust me. I don't trust myself. Your jewelry, I get it took. No shit.
Welcome back to It Is What It Is. This episode is sponsored by Underdog Fantasy. The app is an easy way to make some cash just by making picks on your favorite players. Underdog is available in more than 30 states, including California, Florida, Texas, and New York, just to name a few. Make sure to support the show by hitting the link in the bio and downloading the Underdog Fantasy app. They will also match your first deposit up to $100, and you get a special pick when you sign up. Of course, I'm Treasure Wilson, aka Stat Baby, along with your hosts, Cam and Mase.
Football Monday, how you doing, man? let me ask you something, man. You've been working out, and if we not wearing getting dressed up anymore, let me know. I'll just start coming in fresh too. I don't mind either way. I don't have to wear a tie and a shirt. If you've been working out for 2 weeks, now niggas is coming in Balenciaga. You talking about Ben Simmons and these niggas. You talking about a niggas with the high waist jeans. All I see is designer the last week and a half. So if we go on Ben Simmons and Anthony Davis, just let me know. I ain't got no problem. I can put the tie and the shirt away too, because last few this new do-rags all tight. Just let me know. I'm with all that. Niggas working now, niggas feeling this stuff. That's all good. Just let me know. All right.
Who did up? Well, today we are joined with our football analyst, OJ.
Uncle O, what's up?
OJ, what's good? What's going on?
No, I can't say all is good because I didn't sleep 1 week last night because I was so pissed at USC that my adrenaline was flowing. I swear I didn't sleep 1 week last night. You saw me today,
Yeah,
Cam. You saw I was worn out, man.
Yeah.
That defense of SC just drove me crazy. And before I forget, Mase, you looking sharp, baby. You are looking Got that genuine look like leather coat on?
Let's go. Hey,
Genuine.
hey,
You gotta play no games.
I started doing P90X. I'm on like the 5th. I'm on the 7th day right now.
Yeah. Well, that's good, man. Good. That's healthy and it's good. You're gonna be buff. You know, yeah, that's right. Today you're looking the part. You're looking the part today, man.
Nigga, hello. That's a fact.
There we go. We'll definitely get into USC's because I definitely want to hear your thoughts about that.
Yeah,
later
did you go
down the
cuddle
line.
up with your dog after the game?
Yeah.
Oh, it was so sad, man. It was. My phone wouldn't stop ringing. People were calling me from everywhere, from South Carolina. The first thing they would say is, "Juice, why are they only rushing 3 guys?" I said, "Man, my daughter's been telling me they can't hear me because I've been screaming at my TV." My daughter's in the other room watching TV, and she said, "Dad, they cannot hear you, Dad. You can't keep screaming at the television."
Well, don't give away everything because we're gonna get to that.
Okay.
Soon. Yeah.
But
All right.
we are going to start with the Chiefs. So the Chiefs beat the Dolphins 21-14, and the Dolphins are 0-3 against winning teams this season. So how do you feel about the Chiefs, and how do you feel about the Dolphins right now? OJ first.
Well, the Chiefs, they just win. I mean, they remind me a lot of what Baltimore is doing right now. Even when they're not playing their best ball, they're winning. Today was an interesting game because they got off to a fast start that first drive. And in the second half, Miami sort of outplayed them. It was the first half that Miami made a couple of big mistakes, the fumble by Tariq that they picked up and took back for 7. Other than that, Miami's offense was somewhat stayed other than that first drive. So, but great teams win even when they don't play well. It's a lot of Babylon. I hope it came through.
Can I see OJ for a minute? Solo, OJ, solo, please. Oh, you got USC. I was trying to see what he had going on today. And
what kind of shirt is that, OJ?
It's something that you wouldn't know nothing about. Hall of Fame.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
Hall of Fame shirt. You feeling it today, I've been taking OJ Balls. I've been taking it light on you. Watch out,
Listen, the man said what he said.
Yeah, he said what he said.
You wasn't not something you wouldn't know nothing about, man. You know. Hey, listen, I was just saying, being that I'm happy you got both your teams there, but yeah, you need to have something Hall of Fame every week to remind these niggas, because every week, let me tell you something, you know, I got to debate you every week, so every week I do a little more homework on your playing career, and I'm like, outside of you having a terrible team, there's really no blemishes on your resume. I'm like, damn, I had a goddamn stellar career, college and NFL career. Not only in college football, you are a champion in track as well. Right?
Yeah. Well, we shattered the world record in the 4x100 relay. We broke the Olympic record. It was 3 sophomores and 1 junior at one school. You know, Earl McCullough, the high hurdler, he was ran lead off. Then we had Fred Culler. We call him White Lightning. He was the only white guy. I ran the curve third. And Lennox Miller, great Jamaican sprinter who I think has a gold, I'm not a gold, but a silver and a bronze medal running for Jamaica in the 100 and 200 meter. We were tough. We shattered the record. We won indoor and outdoor national champions my sophomore year. We won it again my junior year. And if you score in the NCAA, you score in the finals of those races, you're an All-American. So I was an indoor and outdoor All-American both my sophomore and junior year. The problem with my senior year is John DeLorean signed me to a contract with Chevrolet at the time. He was the head of Chevrolet. And Roone Arledge signed me to a contract with ABC. And even though I had fulfilled my obligation to USC as a football player, I was there on a football scholarship, they took my scholarship.
Wow.
They say, you're making money now. You can't be on scholarship. It's a lot different today. The guys can make money.
Well, yeah, I just want to point that out, man. You know, Hall of Fame shit on this show, man. We do Title Town and we do Hall of Fame shit on this show. Back to the game, though. Listen, man, what I would say about this, it was a decent game, but what I'm mad about is having to be up at 6:30 in the morning to watch the shit, man. You know, I stayed up all night to watch the shit. I fell asleep at halftime because I'm like, yo, at least let me see a shootout. You know, they played, it seemed like today it was more of a manager, like how we talk about how quarterbacks are managers. That's how they played today. I want to see a gunslinging fight between Tua and Mahomes, and I just didn't get that. They played very well, both of them. Neither one of them broke 200 yards. Very pedestrian game. I guess maybe they had jet lag. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
It could be. But you do win championships.
Here we go.
You do win championships with defense, though. You do. And Kansas City's defense this whole season, their defense has been carrying them.
Okay.
And Miami's defense is a lot better than people think. They're getting a lot of sacks. So you win championships with defense. Kansas City was surprising because that first drive, they just marched right down the field. Then after that, it seems that Miami figured them out. Miami, I just think, had a bad game plan in the beginning. They made an adjustment at halftime, and they played a lot better in the second half. Great coaches can make adjustments during the game. They don't have to wait till they get in the locker room to make those adjustments. And that's my problem with, I keep bringing up SC, the defensive coach. Don't let me get started. Yeah.
You'll have your time because I'll have mine when it's time to talk about SC.
Yeah.
Hey, what do you think about Kelsey and that is such poor performance?
Well, when you have a good defense, they're focusing on him. I think Kelsey still have a lot of great football left in him, but he's no kid. He's 33, and that's getting up there in football. Especially if you're running routes and you taking them hits from the safeties and the linebackers. But they're focused on Kelsey. In the past, when they had Tariq Hill, they couldn't focus on Kelsey the way they're doing now. When Tariq Hill was running with Kansas City, those safeties focusing on Tariq Hill. I don't think they have a receiver, even though that young kid Rice kind of looked pretty sharp today.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think they have a receiver right now that the defense really worries about. The only one would be Kelsey, so they're giving extra attention to Kelsey, and it's showing.
Yeah, and to add on to that too, it's also Mahomes can't trust nobody. They got the most drops.
Yeah.
In the fucking league at this particular time. So when you got your safety net and they know who your safety net is, they're gonna try to lock Kelsey down. And plus they probably sick of all the Taylor Swift shit and everything else. Look, a lot of people act like that shit don't matter. That should be mattering.
Yeah.
But you said murder.
Yeah, it does matter.
It does matter.
It does matter.
Which you act like
This
you do
shows
the
that it matters.
It matters. But,
It's like he just came off Fall in Love week.
right,
And
exactly.
then he got 14 yards.
right.
I was going to ask Stat about that.
Right. Yeah.
All guns are out now.
But even like when Antonio was on the show and Homeboy like that first week dropped like 4 or 5 passes, the Kansas City Chiefs, they'll be like Patrick Mahomes isn't playing that well, or he ain't open. They have the most drops in the whole league right now. So I'm not gonna put everything on Patrick Mahomes.
And I'm starting to understand that Miami wins when A-Chain plays well. What do you think about that?
I do agree with you. A-Chain is an incredible breakaway running back. I mean, I knew nothing about him until he came in, and I have Mostart on my fantasy team. So once I saw A-Chain, I said, I'm in trouble. They're going to run him more than they're going to run Mostart. Now, Mostart has like 11 rushing TDs this year and a couple of receiving TDs, and he's done real well. And he was a sprinter in college. I think he was a Big Ten champ, a Big 8 champ, 100-meter guy. But the A-Chain is really special. And I guess he's going to be back in a couple of weeks. And that's really going to, I think, make a difference. As good as Mostart has been playing, A-Chain is a little extra special. And when he comes back, Miami, I can't figure him. As you said, they lose to the winning teams and they beat the losing teams. I don't know. I don't understand that. They're too good to be losing to all of the winning teams. And I mean, not losing, getting beat bad. They didn't get beat bad today, though. That fumble may have been the difference in the game. That fumble of Tariq Hill that led to a touchdown for KC, that was the difference in the game.
So, this is my last question. Would you say that all of the great running backs were all track and field stars as well?
No, Walter Payton wasn't a track and field guy. Certainly Earl Campbell was not a track and field guy. I don't know if Gale Sayers ran track. Most of the track guys end up being wide receivers, not necessarily running backs. I think Dickerson, I don't know if he actually ran track. He's a friend of mine. I should have asked him, but I know he could have run track. But most of your track guys who play football are wide receivers, not running backs.
Yeah, that seemed to be the cheat code. I'm paying attention to that.
Yeah. I was one. I know when I came along, I was like to me the only real track guy playing running back. All the other ones were wide receivers because most track guys, and it's what I used to say when I ran. It was an Olympic year, but I couldn't go to the Olympics because it was in September, and I was at SC on a football scholarship, and we're the defending champ. So, but all the guys that I ran against, from John Carlos to Tommy Smith to Jimmy Hines to Green, all these guys are like 140, 50 pounds. You know, I was 215 pounds, you know, running against these guys. If they did try to play football, they were wide receivers.
Well, leave it to you, oh. You the first at everything, my nigga. Like, God damn, oh. Everything is the first, oh. And you know what? Keep talking there, oh, because I didn't know you was the first. But that's right. This is what this show's for. Don't let shit slide. But God damn, you was the first of everything. You got to remind these niggas, because every time you come on the show, you was the first nigga to do everything.
Right.
Well, congrats. That's what this show's for.
Super, super dope. Okay, so the Ravens are continuing to prove themselves this season. They beat the Seahawks 37-3. This is the Ravens' 4th straight win. So what do you think about their team right now, OJ?
Well, they're physical. They're one of the most physical teams. They're always a physical team. They're going back to Ray Lewis in those days. But the way the boy Lamar is playing, you know, he's in the past, he'd take one look. If the guy wasn't open, he'd take off running. Well, he's not doing that now. He's playing true quarterback. You know, he's in the pocket. He's going through his progressions. And if he has to run, he runs. But it's that 3 that stands out. I mean, Seattle's been scoring a lot of points this year. They were held to 3 points. I've said often, and I will always say, you put people in the stands with offense, you know, Lamar running, throwing bombs, you win championships with defense. And they had a championship defense. I mean, you got to have some offense. I mean, take a look at the Browns. They're shutting people out now. They may, at the moment, and don't get on me, guys, at the moment, they may have the best defense in the league.
They're the best.
At the moment. They may be the best defense.
They're the 85
He was doing good, though. Don't fuck it up, man.
Just stop while you're at.
Yeah, stop this. You was doing so good. Just stop, oh.
Jet lag, it's the jet lag.
Chill out, oh.
Jet lag will do it, man.
Yeah, what about the Browns, though? Go ahead. We want to hear this so we can keep a date of it.
You look at their sacks. They don't give up a lot of points. They may have the best the defensive end. I can't think of his name right now. He may be the best. Garrett. He may be the best defensive player in the league right now.
Garrett jumped over.
It wasn't a great team they shut out, but a shutout is a shutout, man. And if Deshaun Watson, if Deshaun starts getting back to his old self, they're going to be a tough team, because I'm telling you that defense is tough. Nobody's going to put a lot of points on them. I can't wait to see the next time they play Baltimore, because it shouldn't be a high scoring game. It's going to be a smash mouth, black and blue. Both of them boys be hitting. Both of those teams are hitters. The difference is, I think Lamar right now has it all over Deshaun Watson, and I would give them the edge. Nobody wants to play Baltimore at this point. Nobody.
Yeah, well, we're gonna get to that next, but I don't think nobody want to play the Bengals. I'll say that, but we'll talk about that in a few minutes.
Yeah, I don't know how that game ended.
Well, you're gonna find out. You'll find out in a minute. You'll find out how it ended. Don't even worry about it. I'll keep you in tune. I think with Lamar Jackson, and the reason I brought the Bengals up, Burrow, and Deshaun Watson is getting hurt. He hasn't been there constantly, to where I think that they're finding their groove in the last 2 weeks, last 3 weeks. I think that Joe Burrow was hurt, and I think the same thing with Lamar Jackson. He wasn't hurt, but he didn't play the end of the season last year. And I think that he was finding his rhythm, getting back in the flow of things, and now it's showing. And I think the thing with Lamar Jackson is that, he's playing quarterback position great, but it's so much pressure on him. Like you said, they be like, oh, he's not traditional. He's not staying in the pocket. He's always running. And that's week to week that they talk about him for the last 3 or 4 years. Can he stay in the pocket? Can he not stay in the pocket? I think if he stays in the pocket and needs to stay in the pocket, cool. If he needs to run, that's even better that you have the access for him to run. He had 60 yards yesterday rushing. He was second in rushing. But people act like that's such a crime that he's good at running and passing. So therefore, because if your quarterback can't run, if you're Tom Brady, so to speak, who's, my favorite ever, you're penalized, so to speak, in the public eye. Oh, he's always running. No, you can't get mad because he can sprint and he can run. But I really believe that Baltimore and Cincinnati are the two most dangerous teams in the league right now in the same division because they're finding their stride mid-season. That's my opinion on that. As far as on the other side of football, I don't know if, week to week, as much as I love seeing black quarterbacks prosper, I don't know what's up. I can't count on Geno, man. I just can't do it.
That's what I was going to say. They beat Geno.
Yeah, I can't count on Geno, my nigga. Like, 1 week I'm like, all right, the kid Geno deserved the second shot out there. The next week is like, why the fuck they gave Geno another shot? You know what I'm saying?
Only Geno I recognize is the steak sandwich.
Yeah. I can't get mad at that neither because look,
only Geno
I can't get mad at that because the inconsistency is terrible. Now, what I would say is this: the real question is who's doing better, Geno or Russell? Because they got rid of Russell Wilson, that is, and Geno's replacing him. So that's, to me, it ain't even about that game. Who would you rather have, Russell Wilson back in Seattle if you could? With Pete Carroll?
I doubt it.
Yeah.
No, I don't think he wants to.
Yeah.
Geno came in and did a good job for him, but Geno will never be you cannot put him in the conversation with Burrow and Lamar and those guys. Geno,
I wouldn't even fix my face to do that. The question was Russell Wilson and Geno. Well,
they're both managing the game.
Yeah, who's worse and who's better?
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
So.
And the last few weeks of Russell he's done pretty good with Sean Payton coaching him, but they aren't going to win because of Russell Wilson. Russell is, like you say, he's kind of just managing the offense, and the key is don't throw the ball away, don't fumble the ball, and we may have a chance of winning. But you don't want to rely on them to carry the team. Neither one of those guys, I think, are guys that you want to count on to carry the team. Burrow is healthy now. Burrow carries the team, and he's not considered a running quarterback, but that man makes some key runs every game I see him play. And I was watching the Bills game earlier, and he made some real key scramble runs to get first downs that made a big difference, at least in the game up until, we started. And I didn't get to watch.
With the Ravens plans winning so many games so far, do you think that with Odell playing the same, they're unbeatable? If he keeps this up?
None of them are unbeatable. I don't think there's a team in the league that's unbeatable, but I do think this is the best group of receivers that Lamar has had. He could always count on his tight end, the big tight end. That guy has always kind of come through for him. But now he's got guys on the outside that can stretch the field, and that's making it a lot easier for him to sit in the pocket and find that second receiver, and even that third receiver sometime. Go through his progressions and not just take off.
Okay, the Eagles currently have the best record in the NFL, being 8-1 after a 28-3 win to the Cowboys. So thoughts on that game, and how do you feel about the Eagles, OJ?
Well, they win. Bottom line is the Eagles win. They win when they don't play great. I don't think they're a team that you can point at and say they got any real weaknesses. They got a solid defense. They get sacks. They can run the ball at times, not all the time. And let's face it, Hurts is an unusual. I mean, he could be a great pocket quarterback when he has to be, and he makes the occasional scramble that is the difference in a lot of the games that they play. I think right now, they win. And the bottom line is they win, and they win even when they're not playing great. So, I kind of agree with Cam. I love Cincinnati right now. I really do. I love Baltimore right now, but until somebody goes into Philly or have Philly come to their stadium and they beat Philly. I mean, really beat Philly. Philly's a team to beat. I could say that a little bit about Kansas City, but I don't think Kansas City is as strong as they've been because of their receivers. But I don't see any weaknesses in Philly.
Oh, you're not gonna put no respect on Dak Prescott name, you and Cam this week?
Well,
You can have that. I'll trade Dak to you. Listen, Dak played great.
He
really
play
did play great today. I give it to him. They lost. So I don't know.
I was going. What I was going to say, Uncle
That's
Lo.
all I kept thinking about.
Yeah, what I was going to say, Uncle Lo, is like, because I was speaking to Coach Dave. The fucking Cowboy fans at halftime, they go crazy. Yeah. Wait till it's over. I say, listen, I swear to God, this is a real conversation I had last night when the game was going on. I swear to God, this is a dead Cowboy fan conversation. They call me at the end of first quarter. They call you halftime. Yeah, bitch-ass Eagles. Fuck them niggas. Yeah, Cam, tomorrow don't be biased on the show. You show the same fucking, because y'all are biased against the Cowboys.
Keep that energy.
Yo, I'm telling you now, keep that. I said, listen, this is exactly what I told him. I said, listen, there's two things that you have to take into account. That the Eagles win these type of games all year. All these games they've been winning been close games. Secondly, Dallas knows how to lose these type of games when it happens. So
I couldn't say it better.
So I
couldn't say that any better than you just did.
I told him that. So when Uncle O said the Eagles know how to win, what I was going to say is you're 100% right, and Dallas knows how to lose. They know how to lose. Listen, man, Dak Prescott had an outstanding game. Lamb had an outstanding game, but some type of way you figure out how to lose, and that's just that. Jalen Hurts, very good game. Well, I don't think he outplayed Dak, but I'll take his statistics and the victory every single time. And he didn't have any interceptions. And he had, He had 5 receivers over 30 yards.
Yep.
That kid, A.J. Brown, is nasty, man. That kid, yo, listen, man. I don't know who's and I have to do the due diligence to see who is the best receiver right now in the NFL. Of course, you know Tyreek Hill is number one.
There you go.
Your Miami fans
He
is in the
have nothing
building.
to say about Kansas City. Now he snuck out the room.
Okay, but yeah, A.J. Brown, I knew he had to be top 5, but A.J. Brown has been doing an amazing job. And it seems like the thing why Philly is so dangerous is because we've been talking about it for weeks, and I've been kind of on Philly a little bit, on the Eagles. When I say on them, I'm saying more like, yo, they need to pick it up. They're gonna lose eventually. They haven't had a breakout game. I kept saying that first week, second week, third week, fourth week, fifth week. And this may just be their pattern, because they're saying that in the gritty games, we're going to tough it out. And they've been winning, and it's been proven. So big shout out to Philly. Dallas, you already know how I feel about y'all niggas. It doesn't shock me. I don't have too much to say. What you going to say, Oh?
Well, when you came by and saw me watching the games with my group, you saw one guy with all the Dallas stuff on.
Right.
One girl had Dallas stuff, tattooed on her face.
Right.
And they're the loudest people in the place.
Right.
When Dallas was winning. When the game ended, you couldn't hear a peep out of them. I told the guy, here, give me that shirt, let me burn it. Take off all that Dallas stuff that you got, and let me burn it.
And the thing about it is, what's so disturbing, Uncle O, is with the Dallas fans, in these type of games where the outcome isn't decided to the last 3 minutes, you got to put up with them niggas for 57 minutes, man.
Screaming.
Screaming and yelling and telling you what's about to happen and how they gonna win the Super Bowl and everybody's just dissing them and they'll be biased. And then when the clock hits 60 minutes, like you said, church mouse, you don't hear nothing. It's quiet storm, Mob Deep. Shit is real. You don't hear shit. Yo, Dallas, please. And I come to the conclusion, y'all are more delusional than Knicks fans. The delusion is fucking crazy, man. And listen, I'm doing this off a phone call. I got this on the way to work today, and I'm like, yo, stop yelling at halftime, telling me what the fuck is going to happen yesterday. And then when I call you when I'm on the way to work, you know what they do? This is what they do. Yeah, when we play the motherfucking Miami niggas Christmas Eve, we gonna gonna beat the shit out them niggas. Then we gonna fucking Super Bowl. And they don't give a fuck. Watch what happened. And you're like, yo, bro, this is not what you were saying earlier, Coach Dave. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, y'all gotta chill, man. Y'all
this was the game they were supposed to win.
Yeah. You had to put a little respect on their name if they did.
Well, you're talking about Brown. He along with Tariq Hill, they're the only receivers and stuff to ever go over 1,000 yards in 8 games.
Right.
Both of those guys are over 1,000 yards, and there's only been 8 games. I wonder if anybody ever went over 1,000 yards in 7 games.
Yeah. Maybe it was.
I don't know.
Was it? Who could that possibly?
Who could that have been?
Who could it be? O.J. Simpson?
The cloud god. O.J. the cloud god.
What stat is that again? Oh, what happened now? What 1,000 yards and what?
This past week, both Tariq and Brown, they both went over 1,000 yards in only 8 games.
Right.
This past week. And, but they're talking receivers, grant you. But I know one guy that went over 1,000 yards, which is harder, rushing the ball, went over 1,000 yards in 7 games.
Wow.
That was yours truly.
But you know what? You know what I want? This is what I want next week. We're gonna get a list over during the week, and we're gonna put your stats on the screen of things. I know we read them out before, but we need to put this on screen so people understand exactly all the records that you had, because they trying to sweep them shits under the rug, man. That's ridiculous, man. And I agree with you. 1,000 yards, 7 games is way harder than even receiving, even though they broke the record. I don't know what Nick was trying to tell me in my ear. But what I was trying to tell you is this. You got 2,003 yards in a 14-game schedule. When people get 2,000 yards, it's usually 16 games. Now they moved it up to 17. That's amazing. Amazing. On a team which they knew had no pass attack. Salute, my guy. That's why that Hall of Fame shirt is on today, Murder. Yeah. That's exactly why, man.
Yeah, he need to leave his stats up when you talk. From now on, when you talk, you should have 2 columns of all your stats so niggas can know who they talking to.
That's a fact. We're going to do that next week. We're going to put that on the screen.
Yeah.
I never got to play on great teams. I had like 7 different coaches, always rebuilding. But when I had a decent team, it didn't show itself in a whole career. But as far as just individual records, most yards in a season, most touchdowns in a season, most yards in a game. At some point, I had all of those records, and I still, have the most yards average, rushing yards in a season, and the most total yards from scrimmage in a season.
Let's be clear. Let's be clear. So when you say that, before you say shit like that, say, let's be clear. And then when you finish saying it, say respectfully.
Yeah. They're still chasing a lot of my stuff, and it's been 40, 50 years.
Wow. Let me ask you a question before we go to break. When you broke Jim's Brown record, was he cool with you? Like, congratulations, my nigga. Or was he like mean to you? Because a lot of people don't like when you break their record. They act like they do.
They be there for it, but they ain't there for it.
I always said records are goals that they're not monuments. They're made to be broken. Jim was so competitive. He obviously didn't want anybody to break any of his records. And, I told him I was going to break his record. I don't know if you ever see him and I together. I told him when I was like 14, and I ran into him after a 49er game and them in an ice cream shop. And I was so impressed to see Jim Brown. He was with Wooten and these guys. Me and my boys was there. And I was so cocky. I said, man, remember me, man. I'm going to break all your records.
Hey, 14 years old?
I was like 15 years old. Jim and I talked about that a few times, right? I said, you don't remember me? He said, I remember going into the ice cream shop. It was always a lot of you know what he was saying. But Jim don't like his stuff being touched. But I think when I was at SC, he saw it coming.
But was he cool with you when you actually broke his record? Like, for instance, I'll give you an example. The reason I'm asking that, and I know we got to go to break stat, is that so I'll give you an example. I think it was George Gervin, and I think Klay Thompson was about to break some type of record that he had. And George Gervin was like, I'm not showing up. They ain't have three-pointers when I was playing, so he ain't even break my record. I'm not showing up. As far as I'm concerned, I still got the record. And even when I watched Kareem pass LeBron the ball when he broke the all-time leading scoring record in the NBA, it didn't seem genuine from Kareem. I just didn't. That's Kareem's personality.
Yeah, the jacket on.
So I'm asking you, what was Jim Brown's attitude towards you?
Well, it was I can't say dismissive. It was nothing like me.
Straight up answer the question, man.
Jim ain't like this shit because you're trying to be too cool. You wasn't like, he was cool. You was like, no, he didn't mind.
He wasn't like the way I was with Eric Dickerson when he broke my record. Eric, I was, hey, Eric, because I like Eric, and Eric, when he went by me, he'll tell you, I was, hey, man, way to go, man. Way to go. I know how hard that was, even though it was a couple of extra games. But Eric actually broke it in the 15th game, but he played 16 games that year. And he's 102 yards ahead of me, and I average 143 yards a game. So if you gave me those 2 games, I'd still be 200 yards ahead.
I was just about to say that. Some type of way, it's still your fucking record.
Yeah, because you still shading them, You try to give them props and shade them at the same time.
When I broke Jim's record was in New York, and what I thought the best part of it, and I have to show Jim nothing but respect. I always did, even though Jim was tough. Jim was not an easy guy. It became more, it seemed to be more germane that I went over 2,000 yards. Jim's record was 1,800 yards. I went by his record and went over 2,000 yards. So that became the story more than breaking Jim's record.
But in your book, you still got the record because nobody had a 14-game schedule.
No, they playing. I'm amazed that at 17 games, more guys haven't gone over 2,000 yards.
OJ, that's super cool. And I hope you know that we love when you share your stories. But we're going to go to break. And when we return, we will talk about the Bills.
She called this thing about toxic. 4 years and counting. Got you feeling like an option. Maybe I'm my own problem, babe. She tired of hearing I don't know. My stubborn in me won't fall. Dealing with this thing called trust. But she really thinking about it. She wanna be free.
Welcome back. So let's get into our Underdog Fantasy picks of the day. This afternoon, the Lakers will play the Heat. Underdog Fantasy has LeBron James at 8 rebounds. Do you have him higher or lower, Mase?
Higher.
Well, higher to LeBron acting like he's 25 years old out there. Got to do every fucking thing, man.
Yeah, LeBron padding his stats.
Yeah, I don't know what, I don't know. Listen, everybody out there that's getting older, I know LeBron may put some tax on his shit, but figure out where that $2 million going that he's spending to stay in shape every year, because that shit is working, I don't know what the fuck he's spending that $2 million on his body, nutrients, regimens, food, meal plans, vitamin. Listen, call that nigga, because that nigga is the best 38, about to be 39-year-old nigga I've ever seen in my life.
Okay, Anthony Davis is at 25.5 points. Do you have him higher or lower, Cam?
I think he's going to go higher because LeBron is right now. What I will say about the Lakers is this: we'll see how long they maintain this, but LeBron got them looking like the bubble. Like, I'm not saying that they gonna win every game, and I'm not saying that they got enough to beat Denver, but he's definitely holding Anthony Davis to a higher standard after that first loss that I seen them lose to Denver. It's just, I think he held Anthony Davis to a higher standard then too. It's just that you really can't do shit when it comes to the Joker. More story is I'm going to go higher.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm definitely going higher.
Okay. And Bam Adebayo is at 18.5 points. Do you have him higher or lower?
That's interesting. I got him lower.
Lower.
I think Hero gonna take all the shots from now.
I'm going to go lower too.
Okay.
Let me ask you something before we move on from Underdog. Shout out to Underdogs, our sponsor. You know, use code CAM. I just posted some shit last night. A nigga won another 4 stacks, and they have a chance to go to the Super Bowl. Let me ask you two a question before we bring O back in. And matter of fact, join us real quick before we go back to football. I just want to ask this, being that we were just talking about our sponsor. I asked all three of you guys this. At this stage, who do you like better, Anthony Davis or Bam Adebayo? Who would you rather have on your team?
Bam.
Well, we ain't going to ask.
I mean, I'm going to choose Bam.
Is that of Miami biasness, or you really think that he's better?
It's a little bit of Miami biasness, but also this, like, AD is doing well thus far, but I'm still going with Bam for now.
What about you, O?
I like tough. So I'm going with Bam because I like tough. I mean, I think your boy is maybe more dangerous offensively, Davis, when he's on, but Bam is tough, man. And I like tough.
And you know what? I have to agree with all three of you guys. And like I said, we're going to get ready to move on, and we can talk about it for a second, but isn't it crazy that we're in a time that 4 people would rather have Bam Adebayo than
AD.
Anthony Davis? Let niggas talk shit about me, knowing damn well I ain't been here for training camp, preseason, and nothing, and they gonna downplay me and think that I ain't shit and saying the Bengals ain't shit, but I'm gonna be training, I'm gonna be getting in rehab, and damn, no, my nigga.
I think I motivated them like the money.
No, Ohio, we don't need your help, Murder. And
I motivated them.
Like O was saying earlier, my man is starting to scramble. I mean, he's not the fastest guy in the world, but at the end of the day, he know when he can pick up 10 yards of first down, a 7-yard scramble. Listen, man, Joe, you know what time it is, Joe, Ohio in the building, baby. I told these niggas, man, they did not want to listen. I told them he wanted not to let the fans down after he got that money, and now it's looking like he deserves the money. Oh, you could go up onto the game. You can make all the faces you want, Murder.
The best play was Drew Sample, though.
Listen, you can make all. You ain't paying attention. Did you watch the game or you seen the highlights?
I saw the highlights.
Okay, yeah, you ain't see my nigga out there. He was looking crazy today, boy. Buffalo.
If you recall, I said last week, and y'all got on my case. When you asked me last week about this game, I said, look, I'm cheering for Buffalo, but I put my money on Cincinnati.
Oh,
And y'all
don't
dogged me.
start that. Oh,
Y'all
please.
dogged me.
Damn,
Y'all
man.
said that I was,
Here we go, man, with this nigga.
Yeah,
Oh,
if
man.
I was going to bet, I would bet on
Oh,
Cincinnati.
you should wear a snow
But
hat
the
that
Buffalo
got
Bills'
Cincinnati
best three
on it.
defensive players are not playing. Their best, you can't lose three players of the quality of Milano and White, and I can't think of the defensive end's name. You can't lose that quality of player on defense and think, you can compete against, as well as you might have against a team like Cincinnati or, for that matter, Baltimore or Philly. The Bills are somewhat handicapped right now, losing those guys on defense.
I know what we're gonna do from now on. Oh, when you start talking, we're gonna get the snow hat. Bub, get the snow hat for OJ every time he talk. Put the Bengals hat on him.
Listen, Captain.
Cap.
I like the Bengals. I said last week that I thought they were the best. At this point, they were playing the best football.
You did
I
say
still
that.
think
Oh,
they're playing the
you
last week
absolutely,
I
you
did
definitely
so.
say that, but you keep yourself a safety net. That's what you do.
well,
You
you have
keep
to.
yourself a little
Yeah.
safety net in case shit go left.
Yeah, you
Because you know why? This is how O makes sure he looks good. Because if the Bills win, it's his team.
Yeah.
But if they don't win, he says, I told you last week that the best team is the Bengals. So no matter who wins, you win.
Yeah.
That's how you make sure that you win every week. Listen, man, I think when Joe Burrow sees Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, he be like, man, them is my little niggas, man. Even though they older than me, them is my little niggas, man. They know not to play with me. Hey, yo, my nigga, 348?
348 was wild.
348. Stop playing me, Josh Allen. I sent you home last year. I sent y'all niggas home last year, matter of fact.
348 is tough.
Yeah, 348. Josh Allen, 258. 258 is good, but when you look at 348, it really isn't that
Dak
good.
had 347.
In a loss, though, in a loss, it doesn't matter. Listen, you got to put that cowboy shit. Oh, let me ask you a question, though, because I'm not going to gloat about the Bengals, even though I'm
It's
just,
too late. It's too late for you not to gloat.
It's too late, right, yo?
It's too late.
All right. Now that I got my gloat over with, let me ask you, where does this leave the Bills in your mind?
I think the Bills right now, I'm worried about them. I think they're going to have to really hustle to even make the playoffs as a wild card, because they got to play the Jets again, who's already beat them. They got to play Miami. Of course, they beat Miami, and I think they could beat Miami again. And New England is going to still be a tough test for them when they play New England again. And I think there's one or two other teams that they got to play that can give them a challenge. I think they picked up a cornerback in trade that helps. They actually didn't play defense. What did they give up? 24 points, 21, 24 points. I don't think that's that bad going against playing Cincinnati in Cincinnati. But the Bills are going to have to really get on it if they're going to make the playoffs.
Well, listen.
Right now, there is a question if they can make it.
Right now, the Jets are ahead of the Bills in the division. All right.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers' Jets are ahead of the Bills right now in the division. So I listen. I like Josh Allen. I like Stephon Diggs. I like the culture that they built. But what is the culture?
Yeah.
Just get close enough to the Super Bowl, because they seem like a rough blue collar team, and I don't know if these guys are going to ever get to the next level, because it seems like they just don't. Even when what's my nigga name, Jim Kelly, in the 90s, 4 Super Bowls in a row, Buffalo just lets you down for the last 30, 40 years. And no disrespect to you neither, because you're the best thing they had, but you didn't get to the playoffs. They need to get. Has Buffalo won a Super Bowl,
No, they haven't won a Super Bowl. Years ago, when it was just AFL, they won some championships there. But, it's quite a feat to get the 4 straight Super Bowls. I got to tell you that. Their problem, as I said, we can say what we want to say, but when you lose probably your three best defensive players, I don't care what the team, it could be Kansas City, it could be anybody. You do that, you're gonna have problems.
Yeah,
man.
well, they got 53
Yeah,
niggas on the team, man. Stop. I don't want to hear the shit, man. It's
stop that.
You said that the other day. It's 53 players on the team.
Is the Pro Bowl middle linebacker. Pro Bowl.
Oh, take that
linebacker.
same energy from Dallas and put it on the Bills. They're good at losing. Oh,
yeah, man.
They're good at losing.
I'll say they good at losing to the good teams. Like, listen, man, that year was a shootout when it was, that was, and Josh Allen didn't get the ball back 2 or 3 years ago when they had that overtime game against Patrick Mahomes. I said, wow, next year Josh Allen is going to be that nigga. I said that to myself. I say, yo, this is a shootout. When him and Patrick Mahomes had that playoff game, and I think they scored like a combined 30, 40, 35 points or 30 points, something ridiculous in like 4 minutes. I said, next year is Josh Allen year. And it wasn't. Turned out to be the new man, who was Joe Burrows. And when Joe Burrows plays these guys, he busts their ass. They lost last year to Kansas City. But I just don't know where Buffalo is going. I guess we'll see next week. But the real key thing is this. The Jets are currently ahead of the Buffalo Bills in the division with no Aaron Rodgers.
And that would be a travesty. That would be a travesty if the
ended
Jets
up
win
like
it.
that. If it ended up like that, it would be a travesty. But, hey,
Without
hope springs
Rodgers,
eternal, and I'm still hoping that doesn't happen.
without Rodgers, what would you say? Oh, what would be your excuse now for the Bills?
I ain't making any excuses. The Bills, look, when you have the injuries that they've had on defense,
That's an excuse.
Well,
Yo.
that's what happened. That's what happened. I mean,
That's
that
that
is
jet
what
lag
happened.
right there. Oh, you said you ain't got no excuse, and you start out with one. Oh,
Yeah.
come on. Oh, you gotta get some rest. Oh,
Well, OJ, it seems like your teams did not have a very good week because moving along to USC, this is the time. Washington had a 52-42 win over USC, and a viral clip is circulating of Caleb Williams crying after their third loss. He ran to the stands and cried in his mother's arms. And during the press interview, when asked about his emotions, he said, "I want to go home and cuddle with my dog and watch some shows." So his reaction alone is its own debate. So what are your thoughts, one, on the game, and two, on how he reacted to losing?
Well, the game was, I've been saying for 2 years now, the defense. I don't know who's coaching the defense, but it's horrible. Everybody was calling me, telling me, hey, man, why they only rushing 3 guys? I don't know. Those guys was running sweeps. There was no hard edge. It was horrible, and they've been horrible. They gave up 101 points in the last 2 games, and they still got to play Oregon and UCLA. But I said I sent him a message today on my X or Twitter, and I say, man, all you can do is the best you can. Anybody that watched you play, you gave it everything you got, but you can't just win with offense. I played in Buffalo. In college, I won all national championships, 5 different national championships. We were champions in junior college and everything. When I got to Buffalo, that wasn't happening. I had to learn after 2 or 3 years when I thought something was wrong with me, and I would get depressed, that all you can do is the best you can. If you played a game and you did the best you can, and you knew when that game was over, you gave it your all, hey, man, you walk out the stadium like a winner. You don't act like a loser. And in his case, nobody can say that this kid don't give it his all. Unfortunately, football's a team sport. You got to have defense. You got to have special teams. You can't just have a passing game. Like when I was in Buffalo, you can't just have a running game, and that's not your fault. That's not Caleb's fault. And the interesting thing is, I don't think he's going to come back next year to SC. And the question is he going to go to the Giants, or is he going to go to Arizona? Who's going to get him? I know. I don't think Carolina will be looking for him because they got young, but he's going to be the first guy off the board next year.
He can jump in the portal again,
Pardon me?
He can get in the portal again.
And stay. I wish he would, but I doubt it.
Let me.
I know I wouldn't.
I want to start this segment off before. I know it has something to do with getting into these games. You know, all these college games are important. When you see a player run to his mommy in the crowd and start crying on her shoulder, how do you feel about that? Does it make you be like, oh, he's so vulnerable? Oh, man, I love a man who's just could go in his mother's arms in front of everybody and weep away? Or do you be like, this bitch ass nigga talking about we want to go home and cuddle with his dog in the middle of the crowd, leaning on his mother? How do you feel about a player like that? Because I'm going to have to say what I want to say, but I know you're in that age group. Yeah. I want to know how you feel just looking at that, like, mommy and dog or bitch ass nigga? I mean, you want to say bitch ass nigga. I'm just saying, like, this nigga's soft or whatever.
First of all, the way you set that question up, I already know you're
No, because I said your opinion.
Right.
Don't worry about me. And that's why I fuck with you, because you don't care what I say. You have your own shit like, well, that's you guys.
Yeah. Well, first I will say that clip, I mean, I think vulnerability is fine to a certain extent because in his brain, he probably feels like he lost it all on the line. Like he knows what he was up against. And so in his brain, I know he's probably like, dang, like I know my draft stock went down. Am I still going to make it to the league? Which he will.
And I don't think he had a bad game, though. He played well.
Didn't,
it's like OJ said, I'm going to make fun of him in a minute, but it's their defense. He put up 42 points, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, over 300 yards. So I don't think he had a bad game at all.
But I just know how it looks to him and how it feels in his brain. So that's the first thing. I do feel bad about the situation. And it was props to his mom for covering his face. But also just when
she's from our era.
Why do you feel bad?
For the situation? Just because it's like, I'm not going to lie, on media, we don't really see men show emotions or cry like that. So for him to be in that situation where a camera is dead on you, you know a camera's on you and you're bawling your eyes out like that, I'm not going to lie, I've never seen that. So that's what makes me feel bad for him because it shows like truly you do care. But at the same time, just being a leader sometimes, and this is not even like a men can't show emotions type thing, men and women in a position like that, you kind of have to be able to stand your ground and save it for later. Because I just feel like, you know, people are going to see that as a sign of weakness. Yeah. And you shouldn't put yourself in that situation.
That's what I was going to say. He probably broke the Michael Jordan meme.
The whole
this
shit
is the new meme.
The whole shit is real quick before you go murder. That just did some OJ shit. All I asked you is what you felt. I didn't ask you pick one side. And you just said, I like men who's vulnerable and it shows emotion. But at a certain time, you have to stand your ground. Was it cool or was it not cool? That's just that since we going
go. My answer, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I know.
She's okay. She's very political.
Yeah.
I've explained both of how my mind is thinking.
This is my thing, and listen, this is why I ask. This is why I love talking to Stat, because I like to know that everywhere. Yeah, that's cool. See, my thing is this. I'm gonna say something like, and it's a different thing. Like we lost the championship. I missed a shot. Murder was crying, but it was a Diddy Bop cry. Like, this bitch ass nigga ain't passed me the ball. If you look at the footage, he bumped me. I'm like, he wasn't no mommy where you at. He's like, yo, fucking bitch ass nigga bump his own man. Like, I ain't even speak. Niggas didn't speak after that. I respect that cry, because that ain't looking for nobody. Like, yo, give me my bag. I don't even want to talk to niggas. I ain't got time for that. But going to sort out,
your mother
and all that. So, the reason I asked is because I don't want to seem too hard. Like, if that's what's going on, if niggas look for their mother and want to go cuddle with their dog, cool. Look, Duke the God is here. Duke used to
Yeah.
cuddle with his dog. It was a pit bull. Duke lift his covers up. Jordan jump under the covers. Duke would cuddle with his pit bull. It was some pit world.
Yeah.
Everything is computerized. Everything where they get friends. So I'm learning a lot of different shit because I like to stay in the loop and I like to fuck with my young niggas. But if that was my nephew, I'd be like, yo, toughen the fuck up, nigga. Toughen up.
Well, hey.
Here we go. Go ahead. Go
No,
ahead.
I'm just saying, it was real emotion. This kid has grown up, I think, a star his whole life. I grew up in the projects. You don't cry, you know. But that's why I said to him what I said to him today. You don't have to cry. You can walk out that stadium like a winner because you did the very best that you can do. I mean, everybody saw the effort that you was putting out there. And that's how you got to start looking at it. Up till now, this guy's been a winner, I think, on every level that he's been on. And these last 2 years at SC, he didn't win the championship. And I think he felt that knowing he was going to leave and go to pro ball probably at the end of this year, that was his last chance to bring a championship to SC. Well, I got news for you. That was real emotion. There was nothing phony about it. That's the way the
was
guy
it
was
tough
raised.
though?
Nobody said it was phony.
Yeah,
Nobody said it. We
hold
didn't.
it. As a player, the boy is tough. Emotionally, he's a little vulnerable, and there's nothing wrong with that. As I said, you grew up like I grew up.
Yeah,
We
but
project.
the whole,
I think we all project
you're
boys.
right.
We grew up.
That's a fact. But see, the
Yeah,
thing
a
about
whole
the
different
reason I
thing.
say
This
this,
guy didn't grow up that
the
way.
thing is, but you can't be sitting there when you go to Colorado talking about put the crown on my head. Yeah, but anything you got to take it pause like you give it. When you up and
Well,
you
he's
win
learning.
it,
He's learning.
Well, he's learning in front of us, and we're going to comment on it because when he beat Shador and them, did you see Shador go off and look for his mother and start crying
And need a blanket.
and need a blanket and talking about he's looking for his dog? Nah, nigga, put on his protect, jumped in his Maybach and said we gonna go watch film and chalk it up. When you're a winner, like you're saying, OJ, and you're dishing out talking shit, and I'm not saying he's the most verbal talking shit. You know, little signs. Hello, everybody. I'm busting y'all ass. When it happens to you, you have to be able to take it as well. My personal opinion is, shout out to Caleb. He did a great job. I think, I totally agree with OJ. Keep your head up. It's nothing you could do about your defense. That is totally on your defense. But I really believe, in my book, is that this put Michael Penix Paws above him when it comes to the Heisman Trophy. I think this was really...
that's what he lost.
That's what it's really about to me. It's like, now this nigga's going to be ahead of me. He didn't have as many yards, but he had a great game, and people have been talking about him the last 5 or 6 weeks, and this was the game to show that he could possibly be better than Penix, and his defense let him down.
Well, I'm not going to disagree with you on any of that.
Yeah.
And last thing I'll say about it, people do think differently, because I remember when I saw the clip, I tweeted, I said, athletes go through so much after a loss. It's more than just another game. Keep going, man. And everybody else in the comments was mad because they were like, he messed up my parlay. Why is he crying, going to his mom? I was like, y'all are not playing in the field. Like, it's two different reactions. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
When
Everything's
listen,
different.
Listen, man, and I'm totally agreeing with OJ. And like he says, it has a lot to do with how you grew up and how you're raised, because most of the times, look, 90% of the people we grew up with didn't have fathers. So all of us, I don't know a bad father. I don't even hang out with you if you're a deadbeat, because we grew up without fathers. And if you're financially able, and even if you're not financially able, being in your child's life is very important. So I get that these kids have it a little different. Their back isn't against the wall like we had our back against the wall. Mm-hmm. But you got to be able to take it, pause, just like you give it. And when you're over there putting the crown on your head, and when you got Wendy's commercials every day, and when you got sponsorship and NIL money, these people look at that and say, what are you crying for? Because we're trying to get what you already have. But I think he should hold his head up. Like you said, I think he had an outstanding game. You scored 42 points. It's up to your defense to help you out a little bit.
Good points. And Caleb, yes, you still did great.
Did great, bro.
Well, OJ, thank you for being here.
Well, thank you, and congratulations to you for everything.
Thank you.
Oh, man. Yo, I'm going to see you this week. We're going to get up this week.
All right. Yeah, we'll hit it.
All right, bet, man. I love you. Oh, I will see you next week, but I'll get with you this week, man. Thank you for coming again.
All right, man. Love you guys. Take care, man.
All right.
Another week.
Yes, sir.
Take care.
In the comments, let us know your thoughts on Caleb's reaction. We're going to go to break, and when we return, we will talk about the Lakers losing to the Magic.
She called this thing about toxic. 4 years and counting. Got you feeling like an option. Maybe I'm my own problem, babe. She tired of hearing I don't know. What's stubborn in me won't fall. Dealing with this thing called trust. But she really thinking about it. She wanna be free. Why am I here this woman wanna be free? Hell, I don't wanna see her walk away. I wish somebody told me the rules. Disagreements let her win, and it's cool. Even when I'm right, this ain't about you.
Welcome back. So the Magic beat the Lakers 120-101. After their loss, LeBron compared the Lakers to the Steelers, saying, "We're like the Pittsburgh Steelers right now. They have not outgained or outscored any of their opponents in the season, yet they got a winning record." So how do you feel about them losing to the Magic and LeBron's comment?
I'll start with the comment about them being like the Steelers. You can't. That's crazy to say they're like the Steelers because the Steelers are winning because of their defense, and right now the Lakers don't have any defense. So that sounds pretty crazy to say that. And then the Steelers are forcing turnovers again. The Lakers are not forcing turnovers. If you look at their stats, they were out rebound 51-40. Then I think I had another stat that they gave up 19 offensive rebounds to 10. You're not going to win like that. Anybody play basketball know that if you are out rebound by double on the offensive boards, there's no way for you to win. Because, I mean, you got random niggas getting points that wouldn't get points if they're playing like that.
As of now, they don't have a winning record. They're 3-3. And what I think is this. LeBron wants to win so bad that and listen, you're going to hear a bunch of this shit.
Yeah, he's controlling the narrative.
Week in and week out. And it ain't really, it's not, you're absolutely right with controlling the narrative, but I don't think it's meant to control the narrative. I think it's meant to be like, whatever I got to say to get these niggas to try to get to my fucking level, I'm going to do it because you know what happens is, and LeBron isn't dumb, he's seen it, like, nobody wanted to play with Kobe, God bless the dead, at the end. No, you know, you couldn't get niggas to want to go to the Lakers. Niggas like, I'm not playing with Kobe, man. Kobe is a wild nigga, man.
Yeah.
This nigga here want me to be there 6 hours early and stay 4 hours after it's over. Nah. And then, you know, I was used to watch Kobe because Kobe's one of my favorites. I'm like, this is kind of intense if I wanted to go to the Lakers. I don't know if I want to go to the Lakers. And I think LeBron, as much as he loves Kobe, and we all do, you know, RP to Kobe, I just think LeBron is one of them people that get it. Same thing like we was asking like with Caleb Williams. Yeah. He understands the personalities that he has to deal with being the older player on the team. Like, I can't sit there and bash these 23 or 24, 25-year-olds. They're not mentally
build
tough.
Them up.
Yeah, they're not mentally tough to deal with. What I would have had to deal with playing with the people of my generation. So I think LeBron is smart saying, oh, no, we just like the Steelers. Or, man, we don't listen to what they say on the internet. Or, listen, they're going to win all these games. Because you're playing with players that are cuddling with their dogs at this point in life. You know what I'm saying? And no disrespect, I'm not being funny when I say that.
They need that emotional stability.
You know, people got dogs for emotional support.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not even being funny because I would like to see, and maybe we'll do the due diligence next show, on the average age on the Lakers team. So, I mean, if you do LeBron oldest and the youngest player, the average player may be 24, 25 years old. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I was having a conversation with somebody, and a matter of fact, I was talking to you about how when we got the Rockefeller, And I was saying it's a bunch of different personalities that Dame, J, and Biggs had to manage. You got Brooklyn niggas, you got Philly niggas, now you got Harlem niggas, and you trying to manage all these
that was
personalities.
A bad combination.
Yeah, so
that was horrible.
Yeah, it was a lot of different regions with a lot of different personalities.
I don't know how y'all did that.
We did. It didn't survive it. And not saying it could have, just a lot of personalities. And shout out to everybody over there. I was just saying it's hard to manage a lot of personalities. And I think LeBron is figuring that out with his team. So when he says, we're the Steelers, you're like, this is shit I got to do, Killer. If he's talking to me, Killer, I got I'm supposed to do. I got to tell niggas we the Steelers. Or, yo, AD don't give a shit. He ain't watching fucking y'all on social media. This nigga says if you watch the show. I think that's what he's doing, and he's playing, and that's what you're supposed to do at this age, because at this age that LeBron's in, because you want to keep the team together. Only 6 games in. You're not even 10% of the season.
Average age of the Lakers, by the way, is 28.
Yeah, you're dealing with people under 30 years old. So if you're 28 years old, you're probably born in 95. Or so you're dealing with 90s and 2000 babies. How many? It may only be a few people left, and we'll do that next episode, that were born in the 80s that's left in the NBA.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay. Well, let us know what you guys think about the Lakers' loss. That's all the time we have for today. And as always, it is what it is.
Two big necks, like when they doing them 2 for $5.